applies. So,
yeah, I like it, man. Sounds good. Let's get into the Tucker Kraft injury update. We got a little bit of a scare earlier today. He leaves practice with a knee injury, right? The initial reports, Ian Rappaport said Packers tight end Tucker Kraft, who had his breakout game against the Commanders with 124 yards and a touchdown, suffered a knee injury in today's practice, per the insiders. Kraft will have it fully evaluated, but the belief is it's not a long-term issue. So in real time, as the tweets started coming in, you obviously had the presser from the offensive coordinator there, Adam Stenovich. Rob Demoski tweeted out, Packers offensive coordinator Adam Stenovich on Tucker Kraft's knee injury. Quote, hopefully he'll be all right. Hopefully he'll be all right, but we'll see how it goes. All right.
In other words,
I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
Exactly. Matt Schneidman tweeted out Jason Vrabel on Luke Musgrave in camp in the season if he takes on a bigger role because of Tucker Kraft's injury. This is the best I've seen him since he's been in the building. We're going to wrap back around to that here in a minute and talk a little Tucker Kraft. But the latest tweets were Adam Schefter saying Packers standout tight end Tucker Kraft, who injured his left knee at Thursday's practice, got, quote, a little scare, but all good, end of quote. One source said after tests today. Another source added, quote, I think he will be okay. And then Ian Rappaport had tweeted out his quote tweet from earlier today. And then he said Tucker Kraft suffered just a little knee tweak. Sources say a little scare. He checked out okay. So in a matter of about, 30 minutes, I went from crap, Tucker Kraft's probably going on the 4-week IR to he may play this Sunday. I want to get your all's take on it, and then we'll talk some Musgrave.
I love the way, us fans react to things like this, right? Because Tucker's our dude. You're going to panic right away. But you never want to just assume the worst. Hopefully it is, not a long-term thing, and he's going to be okay. I don't know if they're going to put a wrap or a brace or something on it or whatever. Are they going to call it a strain or a sprain or whatever it is? But we know that old Tuck Norris is tough as nails, so I don't think it's going to affect him too bad. Like Jen Wright's saying here in the chat, right on time. If anyone can play through it, it's Tucker. But then again, we have those questions, right? Do you want a guy to play through something and potentially, make a small problem a big problem? That being said, I think the answer is yes. I think absolutely he plays on Sunday against Cleveland. But I'm just glad it's not serious. That could have very easily been the next report we heard from Rap Sheet, that it was. So thank God it wasn't.
And there's a number of different ways you can kind of look at how the coaches responded and then the most recent updates, right? If let's say Tucker Kraft did have a significant injury, not enough to put him on the 4-week IR, but hey, he might miss a game, 2, maybe 3 games, right? If that's the case, that's how the coaches would respond. They wouldn't say, yeah, he's going to miss some time. They would want the opposing teams guessing, right? Right, Emilio? Like you would want them going, okay, is he really going to be available or not?
No, absolutely. And honestly, I was worried about Tuck during the game. I saw him get up a little awkward one time during that Washington game. So even if maybe he just re-aggravated it, rebugged him, if he can stand on it, plan on it, it moves, and they go up there and they move the shin, trying to move it away from the knee, and it stays solid. No ACL, we're good to go. Maybe just nice, a little sprain. And yeah, he's the working man's Gatorade kind of guy, so I'm not too worried about it. But I did think that he kind of bugged it in the Washington game. So maybe this was, just a delayed thing where the pain really just started acting back up, playing it wrong. It just didn't feel right.
Yeah, Jacob, do you feel the same way Emilio does? Because it was, if I remember correctly, it was the Jordan Love run, right? Was the one where he got up slow, and I'm like, what the hell's wrong with Tuck? Yeah. Like I wasn't worried about Jordan. Jordan completely plowed through Trey Amos, and I'm looking at Tucker in the background going, what the hell's wrong with him? I got a little worried. Jacob, do you feel like it might have carried over, or is this something totally different? What do you think?
It's hard to say. As we always like to say, I'm no doctor, that. But I do feel confident that if it was even a little bit, I don't want to say serious, but if they just had any kind of question, I am comfortable enough with the depth at that position, whether that be with Fitz and Musgrave, if they want to bring up Sims. I just think Tucker Kraft plays with an absolute fire inside of him, and he goes hardcore every single play. So it's not the first time I've seen him get up kind of wonky. He does seem like he's the type of guy that, working man's Gatorade just kind of takes a drag of that, that Marlboro and just kind of flicks it and then rubs some dirt on the injury, and he seems like he's going to be all right, kind of thing. So I'm not worried at this moment. Like you said, today when I saw the news, I was devastated. I mean, it hit me. I didn't realize how much. I really do think Tucker Kraft is my favorite Packer, and that's saying something because we got a lot of dogs on that team. So
yeah, dude,
to know that he could hopefully come back, if he does come back this game, that's just another testament that we got ourselves another Iron Man.
Yeah, completely agree. Respect Orange just says it did look like his knee on that love run, but Kraft said it was a cramp. I think it might be his knee, but he played like hell the rest of the game. So I could see him being like that too. If it was the knee and he jumps in and go, no, guys, I'm good. It was just a cramp. Like, keep me in there, right? He's that type of player. So we'll see, though, man. Again, I think this has been good news. Now, let's assume, and again, I'm not saying he's going to miss Sunday, but let's assume he's going to miss Sunday. How do we feel about it being Musgrave, Fitzpatrick, and then do we still have Ben Sims on the practice squad? Am I thinking right, guys?
Yes.
So if you had to go out there with those three, and we pointed out that they showed a lot of 13 personnel. We played, I think, fifth most 12 personnel, which is one running back, two tight end sets, two wide receiver sets in the entire league. So if we go out there with Luke Musgrave, he's off to a pretty good start, albeit just 38 offensive snaps, grade down to 73.8. John Fitzpatrick, 54.3. Obviously, you'd like to see that a lot better, but in a more pass-catching role than just pass blocking and staying in on some of those safe looks. You like what he can do in the passing game as well. Ben Sims obviously hasn't played a snap here. So if you're talking about, hey, you got to go out there against the Browns and play Luke Musgrave, John Fitzpatrick, and then bring Ben Sims up to the active roster, Tim, I feel pretty good about that. So the point I'm trying to make is if there's an inkling of anything with Tucker, hey, let's play it safe here. Let's sit him down. Make him sit down, right? Unlike Christian Watson, we let him talk us into putting him out there. You know what I mean, Tim?
Absolutely. And it's tough, though, with a guy like Tucker Kraft, though, right? Because he is such a monster. And, a guy like that says, I'm fine. You tend to want to believe him, and you don't want to hold him back. But we got big fish to fry this year. We got a Lombardi trophy to bring back to 1265. And I don't think we should, you can't not take chances, but it's early enough in the season. And I think with, your point about Musgrave, Fitzpatrick, and Sims, and then you combine that with, our backs like Brooks, Emmanuel Wilson. I mean, we got Savion Williams. That's a big receiver right there. We can utilize him in different ways. I feel like we can still get the dub against Cleveland. But that being said, if Tucker's a full go, you got to let the guy play. I think they are at that point though, Clayton. Like I don't think any of these players are going to be able to twist anyone's arm anymore if they're not good to go. I don't think Matt's going to let them play. I think we learned our lesson last year.
What do you guys
Watson?
Sorry, what do you guys think about Whiskey 61's kind of thing? It's saying job one for the tight end is going to be Chip and Garrett. Let's assume that Kraft can't go. Which one of those three tight ends would you trust more to be able to be that kind of a physical type to be able to really, not let Garrett run free and put our tackles in rough positions?
Ben Sims.
For
That's
me,
what I was
all
thinking.
three. Like any NFL team in the league should be able to chip. Chip is nothing. With the chip, you're not like, okay, I've got to go out here and block Myles Garrett. The ball is snapped. You're going to try to sell a little bit of a route right off the bat, slide over, bang, hit him in the chest, catch it, 3/4 of the body or a quarter of the body rather, and then get into your route. Anybody should be able to do it at the NFL level. If you're talking about who's the best, most equipped to do it, I think Musgrave is probably the least equipped of those guys, right? He's more of a receiving tight end, but I think all three could do it personally.
Absolutely. Yeah, and the chip is really you're just a leak route at the end most of the time, or maybe a little curl. I just want you to be the relief valve for the quarterback. That's the biggest thing on the chip. Because half the time they go to line them up, they don't even get the full piece of the dude, or they kind of fall when they do it, things like that. I just want you to be ready to catch the ball from Jordan Love. But on that on the total Packers clip that they put up on Green Bay on their YouTube page, Matt was talking about how when he gets them into 13 personnel, the defensive play sheet, their play call sheet shrinks a lot on the defensive coordinator side. That's why he kind of likes to work that in, get that look, because you kind of only land on a couple of plays. You're not getting a bunch of those crazy looks. Who's out there? Kind of probably their base package. And Matt, we have a lot of tight ends that are a lot more athletic than maybe the base package is on defense, and you can kind of guess where those calls might be down and distance wise.
Yeah, as Coach Lynn says here, Tim, I want Brooks helping to Chip Garrett go 21 personnel. I could see that too. That's what they love about Brooks, right? So you see him implemented a little bit more into the game plan probably if Kraft can't go as well.
I would agree. And, we talked about the run game, not just running the football, but also, using your backs, to help protect Jordan a little bit against this Cleveland front. I think there's truth to that. I don't see anything wrong with mixing up some of those personnel groupings. You got to do what you got to do to get out of Cleveland with a win. We talked about the spread and all this stuff, and how much do we think they're going to win by? I don't care. Win by a point. Just
one.
Get out of there. Just get out of there with a win. That's all that matters. And so I think Coach Len is absolutely right. I think we're going to see 11. I think we're going to see 21. I think we're going to see some 12. We might even see 13 again. You never know.
Yeah. And for those of you watching this video back later and not on the live stream, let us know in the comments what you think. Do you think Tucker will go? We want to hear from you. And also make sure you hit subscribe and click that bell icon so you're notified every time we do go live.